In this video, I will share the 15 things that you should silently eliminate from your life because the biggest mistake I made when I was younger was believing that my inconsistency, procrastination, laziness, and burnout were due to a lack of motivation. But in reality, it was because I was unintentionally focusing on things that were secretly destroying my life. So the number one thing that you need to eliminate is taking yourself so seriously. I find that as soon as you're able to just laugh at yourself and find the humor in life, that's when life instantly becomes better, more enjoyable, and easier. I have always been someone who tries very hard to do everything right, to get good grades in school, and to do a good job at my work, and to avoid making mistakes wherever I could. And with that comes a kind of rigidity. So I used to find it very hard to deal with failure, or to find my mistakes and screw-ups kind of funny in a way. And I just wanted to do everything well. When you take everything very seriously, though, it is very hard to just let go and relax and have fun. You actually don't have control over a lot of things in life, and that worrying doesn't actually achieve anything. I think with always trying to do a good job and to not let other people see you make mistakes or be imperfect comes the fear of being seen trying. This is something that a lot of people can probably relate to, and it is such a waste because it can hold us back from trying new things. So it is scary, for example, to go to the gym for the first time because it is in public and people can see you trying and they can see you sweating and getting really tired after a beginner activity, and that is scary. Or maybe it is going to painting class when you've never painted before. So you know that your first paintings are probably not going to be great, but if you're willing to put yourself out there and look silly and be vulnerable and just have fun trying, you will open yourself up to so many wonderful experiences. You don't have to have natural talent. It doesn't have to be effortless. You can just try and screw up and look silly and just laugh about it and move on with your life. Number 2 is eliminate living life without knowing your purpose in life. I didn't have one till I was probably 22. I'm 26 now for reference, and just knowing my purpose, it helps everything else line into place in my life. Friendships, how I spend my days, what I spend my energy doing, how I pick myself up after hard days. You gotta know your purpose, just gotta keep it with you day in and day out. But there is another similar strategy that works even better, and that is to quit negative self-talk. I'm so glad it's mainstream. It's just so much easier to do this when you're following people who tell you to stop talking bad about yourself all the time. That's what I'm telling you, like these influencers. But to quit negative self-talk effectively, you must eliminate jealousy and comparison. I think it's normal to feel jealous sometimes, or to compare yourself to someone else. I think we all do it sometimes, to just compare our life, or what we have, or how we look, or how much money we make to others, to kind of see where we stand ourselves. But what really changed for me is two things. The first is that I've become much better at creating a more realistic picture, both of my own life and that of other people. Because when we compare ourselves to others, or when we feel jealous of someone because they have something that we don't, we tend to usually only look at one thing. So maybe they are more successful in their career, or we feel that they look better or have a better skill set, or they have a nicer home, whatever it is. And then we feel lacking because we don't have that thing. But really, it's never just one thing. That one thing is part of their whole life. It is part of their whole package. And we all have things in our life that we are happy with, and then we also all have challenges and struggles too. Like, no one's life is perfect. So when I find myself comparing, I try to let go of comparing just that one thing that I wish I had, and instead view their whole package, their whole life, and mine as well. And I ask myself, would I want to change lives with this person? Like the whole package? And the answer is always no, because I love my life, and it is not perfect, but it doesn't have to be. And the second thing that changed is that I no longer feel envy. So envy is when we want something that someone else has. I have never been really an envious person, but now it's just completely gone away. Because I realize that just because someone else has something, or they're successful, for example, that doesn't take away anything from my life, and it doesn't decrease my chances of success or happiness. So usually, it is not like there is a cake, and as soon as someone else takes a slice, there's less cake left over for you. It's not like that. That's not how it works, and there is enough cake for everyone. And even if that is not true, it is still just so much better to cheer people on and to be genuinely happy for them and their success and their happiness. Number 5, you should quit saying yes all the time. As a chronic people pleaser, it was hard for me to do this, but I learned how to properly communicate and honestly express what I needed. I didn't lose any friendships or trust. I just needed to start communicating honestly, and people actually started respecting me more for it. So you have to quit saying yes all the time and learn how to say no, thank you. Number 6, quit winning people over. I desperately needed to just let that go and let people think what they wanted to think. You can't change everyone. You can't make everyone like you. You gotta have the courage to be disliked. Number 7 is alcohol. I've never really been someone that was really big into drinking, so this wasn't a super hard one for me to quit. But I remember drinking after I turned 21, just like an occasional drink here and there, but I never really liked it. But I was too embarrassed to be that person that didn't really like it. I didn't want people thinking that just because I didn't drink, it made me feel like I was better than them or that I wasn't any fun or whatever, so I just kept trying. I was like, okay, maybe I'll like this drink. Maybe I'll like this wine. At some point, I was just like, this is so silly. I don't need alcohol. I don't like alcohol. This is not a religious belief or something that I feel that strict about. But on the whole, I do not buy alcohol. I do not enjoy alcohol on my own. I think it's also important to just be confident enough to know when something's just not for you. Just because everyone's doing it doesn't mean it's for you. Know that you just don't really have any interest in them, but you don't need to swear off them like a religion forever. It's just something that doesn't really serve you, and you're willing to let it go. Number 8, quit gossip. I had to quit this. What I realized is that gossip filled all these empty spaces in my life, whether it was in a conversation or in a time of need, needing to put someone else down, but it just lowered my mood every single time. I mean, gossip is a very low vibration frequency, and I sound so hippie when I say that, but we run off of frequencies. Our human bodies do. Gossip and negative speech are way down, so it legitimately does make you feel bad. Number 9 is a big one. Eliminate JOMO instead of FOMO. FOMO stands for fear of missing out. It is the anxiety that something exciting or interesting is going on somewhere else, and we are missing it. It is a problem that has become especially big since the rise of social media. JOMO then stands for joy of missing out. So instead of being anxious about all the things you're possibly missing, this means unplugging and reconnecting with these simple pleasures in the present moment. When I was younger, I so often felt overwhelmed by all the things that a person can possibly do in their life, because what if I'm missing out? And also sometimes I felt like a loser because I wasn't doing all the things that all the cool people are doing. In theory, everything is basically possible, but at the same time, trying to do everything is so exhausting and anxiety-inducing that most likely we can't even enjoy doing that thing in the moment. I've learned that for me, living life to the fullest doesn't mean cramming my days as full as possible and trying to do as much as possible and turn every moment into something. It is the empty space in between. It is the pauses. JOMO has given me the opportunity to take a break from all the things that I could be doing or that I see online and instead find contentment right here, right now. Number 10. This is an interesting one because I kind of am this quit blindly trusting influencers. That added so much clutter into my life, like physical clutter of things I would buy from them, but also this narrative in my head that was like, you're not good enough, or you gotta do this because he's doing that. I needed to let that go, and since doing that, I feel really free, like I am my own person, and I know that you're listening to me right now, but there are people that I listen to and I trust. So I guess just pick wisely. I don't know what that says about you watching me right now, but I'm grateful that you're here. I'm trying to be as honest as possible. Number 11, quit being in the loop all the time. By this, I mean keeping up with politics and world events, knowing who's running for what, staying up on current cultural events. The point of this one is potency. I love how John Eldredge puts this. He says we were not meant to know when a tree falls on the opposite side of the forest. By being aware of absolutely everything all the time, and I think especially as human, we're really prey to this. It's like we have a really strong sense of everything and everyone at all times. When we start to honor ourselves, being aware and distracted, sensing everything that's going on outside of your physical present world is actually diluting you and distracting you from what is going on in your real life. The truth was, keeping myself in the loop on cultural events at all times was actually contributing heavily to my anxiety, so I have allowed myself the freedom of being out of the loop. I am often behind on cultural events when people are talking about them, and you might even call it out of touch. But what I am is deeply connected and in touch with me, my life, the people in my household, in my circle of friends. Number 12, you should quit going to bed late. I used to have this misguided belief that the only time I had for me to work on things I wanted to work on or have time for self-care was from 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. And wow, I am so glad that I quit this. I believe that the main habit shift that I made that contributed to my overall health improvement was more sleep. The habit to take away from this is implementing regular, reoccurring, almost strict sleep and wake times. Not only have I found that I have more energy and that I just feel 5 years younger than I used to, but I've also found that I actually have way more time and that everything is not as frantic and crazy and hurried, difficult, or impossible in life. Number 13. Quit buying things on sale. The subtext under this would be acquiring things just because they're free. I used to be the kind of person that would pick up free stuff on the side of the road. I did this with a rug once. It turned out it was infested with fleas, and then we had fleas all over our house and on our dog. And now I'm burdened with the forever task of storing it, sweeping underneath it, putting it away every single day, maintaining it, organizing it. Just because something is on sale does not make it a good deal. Number 14. Stop caring about old regrets. I don't believe in regret. I believe in learning and growing and taking something from something that you did and feeling like, wow, that kind of sucked. I wish it didn't do that, and it's just trying better next time. There are some things in my life that I really wish I hadn't done, or I had done differently, and that I actively regret. But what I've stopped caring about is holding on to that, and I've made peace with it. I've just learned from it, and I just don't think that there's any value in continuing to beat yourself up. I think why people might continue to regret things and feel bad about it is because they don't feel like they deserve to let it go, because they did something kind of awful, and now they have to beat themselves up continually in order to kind of make up for that. But the thing is that you're not making up anything by beating yourself up. The person that you wronged or the thing you did, you can't go back in time and undo it. You just can't. You know, it sucks, but that's the reality. The only thing that you are doing is hurting yourself. Just learn from things and try better next time. It's better for everyone. Number 15. Quit worrying and depending on other people's opinions. This will feel really nice to have gone. It will take a while. Honestly, you don't really need to put your energy and time into what others think. So just quit worrying about what people were thinking. But there is still a problem left. Eliminating these things is the first step in transforming your life, because true transformation is when you are also able to solve problems, influence others, and have financial stability. All of this can only be achieved when you are a smart person, and the good news is becoming smart is actually very easy. You just need to apply the 5 techniques explained in this video. I highly recommend that you watch and apply them.